Hey, what's going on? I'm Jeff, and you're listening to Alive and Loud.
What's up, and welcome to another episode of Alive and Loud. Today, I've got Mr. Jeff Maker, and he is the light designer for the band All Time Low. And I want to thank you so much for coming on today, man. It's a pleasure to have you.
Thanks for having me. It's a pleasure to be here.
Absolutely. So I want to ask, you've probably been quite bored over the last year and a half, have you not?
Yes and no. The stress kind of keeps you busy.
Yeah.
Mentally, it did. But I was able to work with two of the guys from All Time Low on a podcast / live show called Crash Test Live. So that, I did that with them when they did their podcast Full Frontal for a while. So that actually helped to keep me busy, and it helped make me feel like, hey, it's kind of like we're still doing stuff, and it was really, really fun, and we're still doing it, but it's been on pause for like 6 months because the boys have been very, very busy. So that kind of, when it was not very busy, we were like, this will be really fun, and it was, and it's just that their schedule got very busy, and we're basically almost back to business when it comes to hitting the road. So we're hitting the road at the I think the beginning of August is when we're back on the road.
Killer.
Yeah.
I know you guys are going to be playing a couple shows around here, so I'm gonna try and come out.
I think they're doing Lollapalooza.
Yep.
Right. I think we have some other things going on, but if it's not announced, we don't talk about it.
Yeah. No, I saw an announcement from a venue in Louisville. So I'll be able to come up there and see you guys in Louisville, and then there's one in Nashville. Cool. So
I think all the tickets for the US went on sale today. Yeah, actually. So that was cool. And I guess they're selling really, really quick, as they tend to do. So that's another great sign. I think people are just thirsty for the music, live especially.
Definitely. So how important do you think it is that people go out and buy these tickets, especially now considering we've had this big concert drought?
Extremely important. I feel obviously, just because if it's one thing to want to come back, but if no one is going to see everybody come back, then it's almost like, well, what the hell were we waiting for? But I feel and I'm obviously biased, but that music is always going to speak to people, especially live. So it's a nice sign that a lot of shows are coming back. I see a lot of colleagues, friends, coworkers out starting to do things, and things are relatively safe, it looks like, and everyone's getting, taking the proper steps needed to get us back to where we need to be. And it's exciting to see, and you feel really good about it because your friends are doing it. And then when you start getting the calls, you're like, oh man, this feeling is, you've been waiting for it, and then you feel it, you're like, oh man, this is awesome. So it's been very, very exciting recently, especially.
That's good, man. Yeah. I've been talking to a couple friends of mine who are in the touring world, and they're just like been twiddling their thumbs, and it's like I can't imagine, like, I've not got to go do touring photography yet, but I imagine if you get bit by the bug once, it's you miss it, and it's work, and I get that people have this notion in their head that touring is just nonstop partying, but it's absolutely not the 80s anymore. No, I've seen bands where they're outside lifting weights and running on treadmills and drinking waters like they're going out of style, and it's like
very common. Health.
Health is very
it's big. Health is big. Life is a good thing. It's you're definitely 100% true. It's not always a party, it's definitely not the 80s anymore. I mean, I was just like, they didn't have the internet back then, so they really had to create something to stimulate them constantly, because the big rush of a live show is probably not enough, and then after that there's nothing else to stimulate you, so you got to find ways. And this is me just assuming and hearing stories, so I feel like maybe that was kind of more the reason. But I think more and more distractions we have now, and more and more, it's almost like the artists can promote themselves 24 hours a day now. It's like there's like no downtime, and there's always something new to learn, so it's a nice it's nice kind of a wind down, like chill after everything is set up and the doors are open. When you're backstage, it's like, oh, it's nice. It's quiet time. It's time to relax, or maybe take a nap. So it's not really a party. I mean, don't get me wrong, there are parties.
Of course.
But I mean, it's not like the movies.
Hollywood's very deceiving with that. So what would you say, like, your favorite part of getting everything set up for a show would be? And for those of you who don't understand you know, what Jeff does is nothing short of miraculous, because as a photographer myself, I know that whenever I go to a show, I'm praying to the rock gods, please let this show have good lighting. Please let this show have good lighting. And I actually caught a show of yours
Oh,
in the
really?
guys up in Indianapolis,
Okay.
the Egyptian Room, with
Okay.
my sister, who's a massive fan.
Awesome.
My sister Chelsea she's met the guys probably, I don't know, I'm gonna misspeak, probably 14 times.
That's incredible.
Yeah. And you
That's
know,
awesome.
so I caught the show and the lighting was just absolutely I didn't even get to shoot it. I was watching it as a spectator.
Dang. Well,
But I
thank
was
you
like,
very much. I hope
gosh,
it
the
was.
lighting was
I've
awesome.
had a couple of amazing colleagues cover for me as well. So,
Okay.
which I would like to give them props if they were the ones that you saw.
This was about maybe a maximum of 3 years ago in Indianapolis.
Indianapolis. Who was ATL headlining,
Oh my
or were
god.
they supporting
Yeah.
anybody like
So
Blink?
All Time Low was headlining.
Yeah. Okay. Then I did it. Yeah. Okay.
Dashboard
Because
Dashboard Confessional was there.
yeah, that was the last tour. Yeah, because I had a friend
Okay.
of mine, Nick filled in on the Blink tour, and he did an amazing job too. So if he was the one you saw, I want to make sure the
Yeah,
man gets his props, his due props.
absolutely.
But
And see,
yeah, that was a fun rig. It was kind of it was pretty functional, you know, for what we needed to do. But it was a co-headliner, so you know, a lot of pieces were moving around and everything. But that was definitely a different vibe. Like it was more chill, I felt like.
It's
in
a
that
very
sense.
interesting room.
Yeah,
Place in
absolutely.
Indianapolis.
Yeah,
that was my first time seeing a show there. So
awesome.
For those of you who don't know, I want to kind of have you, Jeff, if you could give us like a little bit of a rundown of like what you do, like what's a normal day for you at an All Time Low show, or anybody that you work with.
Sure. It depends what kind of hat I'm wearing on any given tour.
Okay.
But I guess I'll just kind of try to summarize it as much. I try to get up as early as possible, whether I'm teching a rig or just designing, programming, or board opping it, because I want to make sure we're setting up. You know, I want to help out as much as I can with the setup, because I do enjoy seeing the product, form. And it's just, for me, it's like a game just to put everything together. It's just nice to see the final product put together, and it's just like you're I don't know, just the teamwork that you do to make that happen together. I like to be a part of that. And so you basically you're loading in, whether it's a big semi or a trailer. But if it's a semi, you have a lot of stagehands working early in the morning to get everything in the door, set up safely, number one, correctly, number two, and make sure everything is working as 100%, as close to 100%, if not 100%, if you can. Sometimes days throw curveballs at you, so you're operating at maybe like 95%, or the design can't exactly fit in a room, so you're like, we're about 80% today or so.
Scale it back a bit.
Yeah, exactly. And sometimes rooms don't call for as much as you're traveling with, so you want to be tasteful, so you kind of determine what you're going to bring in, what will be too much. Some people bring in everything no matter what, but that's the artist's prerogative. Sometimes artist is like, we're paying for it, bring it in. But sometimes it's almost like, your fans are going to suffer if we bring everything at this particular venue, so really you got to just gauge it. So we're gauging it, you set up, make sure everything's good, go update program for the room. Once that's all done, hopefully at lunch break, take some downtime, relax a little bit, reset your head, take a nap if you need to, kind of, because you get up early in the morning. Then it's showtime. I like to go out early-ish, to see some artists perform, whoever's opening, if I'm awake, and if there's time, if I'm not doing something else, trying to fix something with somebody, in Dimmer Beach. But once the show is run, that's the most like happy part of the day. It's like just seeing all the hard work that everybody has done, whether it's guitar techs, drum techs, audio technicians, audio engineers, our tour managers, production managers, our techs, everybody, merch, everybody makes everything come together in such a way that you're just so happy to be a part of the final product. And you see all the happy fans and just people that are in a moment together, and they're all coming together for one thing. That's the best part of the day. And then you load out, and then you do it all over again. So you look forward to every part of that day for sure. But I do like seeing everything come together and working on the team.
Yeah, I mean, it's essentially your baby. You're
you're
building it from the ground up, and you just want to take a look at it, and you're just in awe. It's like watching your kids sleep. You're just kind of like, I had a hand in putting all this together, and now people are enjoying what I've done, and I haven't done it, and it's not in vain. This girl's smiling, this couple's happy.
Yeah, exactly. And you look over, yeah, exactly. You're like, there's a moment. These people are in a moment, and yeah, you're a small part of it. You know, I mean, I know you said lighting it is important. I feel, but it's the
Very,
music,
yeah.
it's the connection they're making, it's the
Mhm.
mood you're setting. You know, it's just that moment that everyone's working together to make for individuals, and everyone takes it a different way. It's
Yeah.
cool to see. It's cool to
Oh,
see
oh,
that.
hell yeah.
Yeah.
And that was gonna be my
Yeah.
next question is like, what is it like for you to like whenever you have everything set up? What's it like to like just sit back and absorb what's happening around you in that moment?
Tranquility.
Yeah.
Just you it's kind of like you justify it, you get justification in the job that you are doing, but also are passionate and love. So
Yeah.
it's a perfect you know combination of everything where it's yes, it's a job, but I love it so much. So
Mhm.
it's a different definition personally as what a job is, just because I love it. So
Hell yeah.
I get to do what I love, and I get paid to do it. So it's awesome.
Yeah, I can't imagine.
Yeah.
And that's one of the best things to hear, man, is because
Yeah.
you've got such a good head on your shoulders with that. You know, I've talked to so many people over the last couple of years who are like they're either on autopilot or you can
Mm,
genuinely tell that they love what they do.
right.
And you know, I get like you'll have bad days, you'll have
Oh,
moments
everybody
where
does.
you're
Yeah,
exhausted,
sure.
or we're human. And you
Mm,
know, essentially that's why I want to kind of give you this platform because whenever I go to a live show, whether I'm going to take pictures or whether I'm going to go observe and just hang out with a friend and watch someone perform, you know,
mm,
you want that whole experience to be, you know, the sound to be good, not fuzzy speakers and popping,
mm,
and you want the lighting to be good so you can see the artist.
mm,
But it's an entire entity, if you will, like the whole live experience. And that man, I the last show I saw was in February in Nashville, and
mm.
oh my god, I miss it.
Yeah,
I'm
same.
ready.
Yeah.
I am so ready to get back out there.
Same. I feel like we're all just standing in the blocks at a track race,
Yeah.
and we're just waiting for the gun to fire so we could just get out of the gate and go, and just
Oh yeah.
we're all but the thing is we're ready to go, but we want to make sure it's done properly because yeah, we all have
Definitely.
been taking some time off, so it may get a little
Mhm.
extra time to get started, but wheels are going in a lot of different camps, and it's really awesome to see. Oh,
Yeah.
and also, I just to go back to when you were saying like the design or the product feels like your baby.
Mhm.
There's a reference I've reused it a couple of times just to say I feel like
Yeah.
my lighting fixtures are my children, like for sure.
Oh
But
yeah.
like when I have to say goodbye to them, it's like they're going off to college or they're like they have their own family of their own. And it's like, well, I'll see you next time, I guess. And
Yeah.
you're like, oh man. And then like you get your favorite fixtures, and then new fixtures come out. It's like, well, it's time to use these, and the old ones, well, we'll see you next time. So it's kind of cool that so much technology also is involved in making these shows evolve, so that
Oh yeah.
like how you're saying, people some folks may feel a little stale, or it's like they're
Mhm.
kind of over it. Sometimes these new fixtures and these new products, these new technologies, like put another B12 shot
Exciting. Yeah.
into it. Yeah, so it's very cool that new stuff is always coming out too.
Oh yeah. Do you find yourself like getting more eager these days, whereas like before you when you first started touring, for like a new product coming out and that you can start testing right away? Are
Mhm.
you like, oh man, I've heard how great this is. This is definitely an upgrade. Like, what's something that you've had before, you
Mhm.
know, that's been around the industry for a while as far as what you do,
Mhm.
and that's been upgraded, so to speak, into like a new in a new way that
Mhm.
you really like using?
For lighting fixtures, I mean, Roby is always on top of their game.
Mhm.
So their products are always good. The Mega Point is, I always love seeing those in rigs because they're a great fixture. Elation's got some great products too. So it's everyone is trying to outdo each other, and that is so awesome for LDs. And these
Oh
companies
yeah.
know, yeah, these companies know it. So we're always salivating over the next new thing. So Roby's always great. Avolites just came out with their newest flagship console, the D9, and it's gorgeous console. I use the Avolite Sapphire Touch, but the software is the same for both. If you can upgrade it, so you just have maybe one. It's obviously a lot different, but you can still use the software. So I'm excited to get my hands on the new software for the console that I definitely prefer and use.
That's awesome. Yeah,
Yeah.
I know because whenever I first started doing concert photography, I went into it like 7.5 years ago, like right before like you started seeing people like text and stuff using like iPads on stage and walking around.
Yeah.
Like I was like right there whenever that was just coming into the fold, and people
Mhm.
were still kind of doing it the old way. And
Right.
it's been really awesome to see the way that technology has enhanced the concert
Yeah.
experience for people, because there's so many people who don't realize what all goes into putting on this show. They buy a ticket and they're like, oh, I can't wait to see this band, but then like you're watching the band, you have no idea what you're in for. Like,
Right.
and the thing is like you were saying earlier, per venue there could be less, there could be more, there could be things that
Mhm.
you add, as a filler, or like this light truss was not there before, now it's there, and you're going to get a different
Mhm.
experience, not with the music but with your visual experience. And the
Of
visuals
course.
are so important. Do you ever find yourself like going to Instagram and like looking for pictures that
Yes.
okay, I was going to say you would be crazy if you
100%.
didn't.
I definitely, after every show, and I know a lot of colleagues and friends do the same when
Yeah.
it comes to their visuals, they definitely look to see if like they'll look for maybe a hashtag on something, or just look up
Oh
lighting,
yeah.
and just kind of see, who may have taken a photo of that evening to see, what angle may look good, or man, this was a great moment. And but I mean, I've been fortunate enough to have some, also photographers that tour with All Time Low and other artists that I
Yeah.
do tour with, and that, they also capture like, these shots. But the curiosity of different angles, always
Yeah.
gets you. So I'm always curious to see what the fans experience is, like what was their view? Did we blind them too much? Like, is this
Right.
angle cool?
Right.
Like, but also like, man, that was a cool moment. Oh, I've never seen it from that angle, kind of a thing, even though you do, but you don't,
Yeah.
every day. So yeah, that's cool for sure.
Do you find yourself, when you're looking at those photos, do you find yourself looking at it like, okay, maybe I can tweak this a little bit differently,
Yes,
maybe I can take a little less light over here or whatever, like kind of it essentially it's almost like homework when you're thinking of it.
absolutely. Yeah, it's a actually a great way to look at it. Because you want to make the product perfect, and then beyond
Yeah.
perfect, and then even better. Like, and it just I guess the key is to never be satisfied, even if it is exactly perfect. I feel like, I mean, yeah, there are moments where like, don't touch it. There's no reason to if you don't
Not
have
broke.
to. But
Yeah.
if there's like certain things that you always want to tweak just a little more, half an inch here, an inch there, go back, to original positions. When it comes to fixtures, yeah, it's always something to look at.
Yeah. And I find myself doing the same thing. Like I'll look at it if say I'm coming out to shoot you guys in Louisville.
Mm,
I'll look at a couple shows before this one that I'm coming to, and then I'll look for lighting cues, or I'll
mm,
end up doing research like, okay, what is the drummer gonna do here? Like
eh,
during this song. So I
mm,
I do research so that I can find key moments. Oh, he's
that's
gonna be
great.
sticks, because I don't want to go to a show and just spray and pray that I come away with like one good shot. I want to come out with a lot of good shots, like I'm taking my time to come to this show to take pictures of an artist that I really genuinely like, because those are the only shows I go to. I won't
Right.
go to a show that I have no interest in. So
Mhm.
I want not just for my work to look good, but I want the band to look good that
Of
I'm working.
course, yeah.
And so I find myself kind of like what you do. Like I'll look at other photographers and see how their lighting was, like see where my ISO needs to be and how fast my shutter count needs to be. Is the
Mhm.
lighting guy using purples? Is he using all reds on one song?
Yeah. Yeah.
But I don't care
Yeah.
about that because there's
Yeah.
always a way around it.
Yes, yeah,
You
yeah,
always hear that one photographer like, "Oh, I heard this band is all red lighting."
yeah.
It's like, well, you know what? Maybe this band likes black and white photos, because even if it's all red, black and
Yeah.
white photos still look good.
Oh, they look great. Absolutely. Yeah,
And
the red can be a trick, but, my understanding is that the technology is good, if not better than obviously it used to be when it
oh
comes
yeah,
to, snapping photos of all red and oversaturation of that.
definitely. Do you find yourself using like a specific color theme, like say the theme of the tour is like for the current album cycle that's coming
Mm.
out? Do you kind of base your lighting around like the theme of an album, or how do you kind of do that?
Yeah, it's based around the album for sure.
Okay.
And then the next step to that would be, what music videos are they putting out prior to touring? How was
Mhm.
the lighting used in this particular song? How can we bring that to life live? Where it's
Yeah.
not so much the music video, but it still carries over the emotion that the director was trying to capture live. And if the band obviously still wants to have that mood
Yeah.
live, then obviously we tried to 100% make sure that's the vibe. But I feel like that helps to give you kind of an idea of what specific
Oh
songs.
yeah.
After that, I look to the lyrics and seeing what kind of a mood and what kind of a tone the artist is trying to communicate, whether
Sure.
it's somber or energetic or just
Mhm.
kind of, nostalgic or whatever. So I try to pick the colors based on that.
Yeah.
And obviously, even if the song has some happy lyrics, but the music itself is kind of very chill, obviously we'll chill it out. But the tempo is obviously a big deal. The faster and the more vibrant it is, the brighter the colors, the more blue we get, the more
I
sad or
like
maybe
blue
emotional
lighting.
it is. Yeah,
I
it's like
do like blue
super.
lighting.
I love it. Yeah, I like uh, deep blues, like some UVs mixed in with deep blues, light blues like cyan. Like all that together.
Oh
Just
yeah.
it's just the layers you can do with it. It's
Especially
just
with
so
like a little
gorgeous.
bit of a white backlighting with that
Yes.
blue to kind of like
Oh yeah.
highlight that. Oh my
Yeah.
god.
I'm like, I haven't
I'm
done
not
this
I
in so
don't
long.
even
I'm
do
like, oh
you.
yeah, tell me more. Tell me more about these things I missed. I
That's
love it.
talking Jeff's love language here.
I'm like, oh yeah, the silhouettes.
Oh my god,
It's
yeah, they're
so
great.
good.
Well,
Oh man.
I kind of just came up with this in my head while you were talking, just because
Sure.
like I feel like lighting is really, really key.
Mhm.
And on the point of songs, I'm gonna name off a couple songs by All Time Low,
Okay.
and I
Oh
want
no.
you to. I know I'm not
Okay.
gonna make you sing it, but
Okay.
I
Well,
want you to kind of put yourself in the mindset that you're at the board,
okay.
you're at front of house. How are you gonna program "Missing You"?
Blues with a white broken up, almost a star gobo, zoomed all the way out, very slow rotation on the white gobo. A very slow zoom in and out on the wash fixtures that are doing the deep blues. And then when it kind of the song does blossom, and so it'll kind of be a very, very slow pan out, but it's a lot of blues like we were talking about. But like we're also saying, it's ironic you picked that song unless you've seen it lit, but that's
Yeah.
kind of how I go about that one.
Killer.
Yeah.
Spot on, man. And I remember seeing that live, and that definitely rings a bell.
Did
All
you see
right.
the video that they did for with all the fans that
Yes,
oh yeah, I think that was the star of that. I was just trying to make sure the accent to that was there, but the
that
fans
was
were
wonderful.
yeah, that was very, very cool.
Very cool. How about Dirty Laundry?
Just like the music video, it would be deep reds and deep blues, but not necessarily evenly lit. So half the face would be blue, half would be red, and different parts would never match up to kind of create some dimension on faces, and also just the tone of the song is it brings you in, and it was a very Stranger Things was very huge, still is, but at the time was doing very
Oh
well.
yeah.
The vibe of that music video, I felt also with the live performance, we were trying to go into a Stranger Things like upside down kind of a thing,
Yeah.
because the logo of the album was reverse of the previous one, so it was almost like, hey, we're going to flip things upside down, and that song was the first one to kind of get it out there, and it really set
Mhm.
the tone and the mood. I felt for what we are about to do live. So I felt that song was very important to do the reds and the
Yeah.
blues. And then at the very end, it does all white. Again, it does blossom
Yeah.
at the climax towards the end there.
Last question. Dear
Yeah.
Maria, count me in.
Oh, depends what kind of confetti we're using that tour for that one, because that's always the finisher. So whatever color they choose for that, sometimes it depends on the video
Mhm.
that their content that they're using. If not, it's just whatever they're using for confetti, and I'll try to make sure that's getting hit with the proper colors so that it's making the best impact it can on the audience. But typically, the last time we coordinated all that was for the live stream, but live when we were
Okay.
actually doing it was like it's tough to explain. It's like a 70s film, or it was like greens and
Yeah, yeah.
ambers, and I don't know, it just felt like very 70s, like weird flares, or little, like the Polaroid would almost pull off of the photo, and you get that weird color to it. That's kind of the vibe that we went with, that because the video itself was very throwback to the
Very
content
cool.
for it.
So what is your favorite song to customize with lights?
Oh my god, oh my god.
Putting him on the spot. He's in the hot seat.
Yeah, there's so many. So
Yeah.
um there are for sure, there are some they don't play anymore that I loved lighting too much. They only did it that
Oh.
one tour that I did at the very beginning with them, but I do love lighting that song because they just never play it anymore, and I remember loving that song. But that was like
Mhm.
a song like that, and also Last Young Renegade, like that was just, there was something really fun about that, with like the gobos in the beginning with the just how everything just worked together. And I don't know, that was an amazing song. But most recently, I've just kind of been in my downtime.
Yeah.
Safe from Wake Up Sunshine has been.
Yeah.
I want to light that one live just to kind of
And that was a
go to that one.
phenomenal release too.
Oh yeah,
As soon as they came out, I had to get my hands on it, and I was like,
yeah,
wow, I cannot wait to see this
yeah,
live. And
yeah. At
speaking of
Safe, I'm just
live,
like, guys, just put Safe on there. I was like, okay, too much Safe, just like all the ones. But I love Safe.
did you
I'm
find
excited to light
yourself
that one.
did you find
What's that?
yourself with this new release, like
Yeah.
looking at some of the songs and while you were listening to it, like kind of visualizing, okay, I'm probably gonna do this with that one, probably
Yeah.
gonna do that with this one.
Yeah, we did the live stream last a year from this month actually.
Yeah.
That they did, and they released it, I believe, at the end of last year. They did like a concert series for it. So that's the last time I've lit any of the new stuff. So it was very on theme with the album artwork. It was very bright and vibrant.
Yeah.
Excuse me, a lot of sunshine stuff, but
Mm-hmm.
when the mood moments called for it, we went, deeper in the darker colors and stuff, which is always nice to break up all that, because you can't be all bright and it just look the same thing all the time. But the way they do their set list too, I think they sandwich everything extremely well. Like they'll have a bunch of like, let's go, and then like, all right, I want to catch your breath.
Yeah.
Okay, and then let's go, and then acoustic, and then it's like, all right, now hold on to your butts because we're going all the way to the end. So
it's almost like running, like running a race, like you want to get your heart rate up, and then you want to kind of like take your breath,
get some water,
heart rate up.
Yeah, absolutely. But I'd say those three stick out. But I mean, they have so many that I've loved to light. But I mean, Dirty Laundry for sure. When that's on the set list, I know I'm like, yes, because I just love how that one's stacks up. But again, Safe, I'm excited to light that one.
Awesome. Yeah. I can't wait to see you light it, because this will be my first time. Hopefully, I'm hoping to get into this one. The one in Louisville. I'm hoping to shoot that one. And I've never actually got to take pictures at an All Time Low show. So I'm really hopeful.
Nice.
It's going to be awesome, because I was just looking back through an old shot that I have here on my iPhone, and it's, speaking of, it's Dear Maria.
Oh, nice.
The confetti and everything. So I was like, man, you killed it. Cause like that.
Oh, thank you.
That right there, confetti.
Oh, nice. Is that mostly no color on that one? Like, it's tough to tell.
It's kind of, it looks like a cyan.
Okay. Yeah.
Like, I don't know if you can tell.
It's tough to tell. It's flaring. Oh, I see. Okay.
There's your babies.
Oh, there they are. Yeah. Nice.
Yeah.
Oh, memories.
Oh, I know.
Like, oh, that was last year. No, that was 3 years ago. I'm like,
a little bit, doesn't it?
It freaks me out, man. I can't. Last year is now 5 years ago. I'm like, what is going on?
Oh yeah, it's
crazy.
It seems like a whole world away. So what have you been doing to like really keep yourself busy in between all this?
Besides the podcast with the boys, and just getting ready. Honestly, we've just been keeping our distance, trying to stay as safe as possible. And, we're all vaccinated up with the 2 shots. So that's great. Just kind of playing the waiting game, honestly, before we weren't really doing too much. I recently just got to see my dad for the first time in like a year.
Oh, wow.
In Florida. So that, I mean, he's in Florida. So it's kind of like, the ground zero for some of what was going on, but he's totally vaccinated, and so is my stepmom. And it was just like this, that was the best hug I ever had. And it was like my birthday on May 5th, and I got to see him like a week and a half after that. It was like, this is the best birthday gift ever, to hug my dad. So that was like, that was great. But as far as keeping busy, it's like just trying to find things to do to like, and just ways to just get through it, really, and just making sure friends and family are safe. I found myself checking in on folks, and people checking in on me, and it's just, I think you were just kind of all appreciating the little things a lot more.
Definitely.
By having so much time, you're like, man, well, the important things really are obvious at this point, and it's easy to get lost on the road and everything, but friends, family, and health and safety,
It's been kind of surreal, because you're putting yourself in the mode of transportation of like, okay, I got to get to this show, I got to get to that one, and you've got friends and family back home and scattered across, but you're not really thinking like, what if this is all gone one day, and I'm just left with the memories of a show. So, what I always like to talk to people about is what's your absolute favorite memory from any show that you've ever been involved with?
Oh my God. These are great questions. I wish I thought, I was like, I'm trying to think now. Damn it. Favorite moment has got to be, probably Wembley Arena DVD shoot with All Time Low, because seeing all of our hard work come together for one show,
Mm,
and it wasn't even a tour, it was just that one night, and all the rehearsals and all the hard work everybody did, and just for one show, that was very special. And I'd have to say quite equally would be my first day on tour ever. I was with the Dresden Dolls in 2006 in France
okay.
somewhere at a festival, and that opened my eyes to a world that would put me on course for where I am today, and just ultimately my happiness. So it was just really that's a special one. And then when you go from something like that to just hoping you can do something as cool as some of your peers and your colleagues, that you're like, man, that's so cool. I want to know how to do it, or someday I'll be able to try that. And then you'd be able to do something, with people like the All Time Low band and crew, who are just like family. And then that one show is just so huge, and you're like, fuck yeah, that's what you want.
Yeah.
So I can't choose between those two. So I think they're tied for
Oh
my
yeah.
favorites.
Yeah. And that's such a special thing to have, man. And like I said, I've never had that camaraderie with someone continuously on the road,
Mm,
but I can tell you that I've met quite a few awesome people along the way,
mm,
and that I've just connected with. And it's
nice.
really awesome to hear these stories, because whenever you're a fan, you don't really get to know a lot of this stuff. And I think it's
Mm,
really important for fans to know that, like, these bands have people like really lifting them up and putting them on this stage and like making them look the way that they do. But also, it's nice to hear that there's just this community, this family
mm,
behind the scenes that really cares about each other, and
yeah.
that's all you could ask for, because that's essentially that's what music is just one
Mm,
big happy community.
yeah.
And there's a song for every occasion and every mood. And
Yeah.
it's been missed. Live shows have been missed, but
Yeah.
we are ready for it to be back, and we're happy that you get to go back out and do what you do, because ultimately, if we didn't have a Jeff Maker, we wouldn't have a live show.
No, someone else would do it, but I
Oh,
appreciate
I
you
don't
saying
know.
that.
I don't know.
There's plenty of very talented LDs, but I do appreciate you saying that very much. Thank you.
Well, Jeff, if I could leave you with one last question,
Sure.
I want to ask you what would you like to say, and this could be to anybody in your team, anybody that's family, a band member. What would you like to say? Just in essence of wrapping up, coming
Hmm.
off the end of this pandemic. If you had to tell anybody anything, who would it be? What would you say? What would you like to tell
Oh my
somebody?
God. I mean, fortunately, man, I just saw a bunch of them this past weekend.
Hmm.
But I guess for those that I haven't seen, like, I guess I'm happy that you're still around, and I'm happy and can't wait to see them. And they're gonna get a really big hug that may last a little too long. So that'll be that. But I'm very happy to see all of you.
Those are the best hugs.
Yeah, I try. I mean, I'm like, man, get the big bear, get his paws on you. Come
Yep.
on, we're gonna
Yep.
hug. So yeah, but I'm excited to see everybody.
That's great. Well, Jeff, man, thank you so much for coming on
Yeah, thanks for
today.
having me, man. I'm
And,
happy it worked out, and happy to do it for
absolutely.
sure. So I
You know,
appreciate it.
I really appreciate it, and we can't wait to come out and see you on the road,
Mhm.
and we'll have to grab a beer.
Absolutely. Come hang in front of the house, come say hi, and we can get you my favorite shot, the perfectly center symmetrical one that
Those
that
are
no one
my
else gets to see. It's just
favorite.
like it's just the symmetrical ones, because everything's always moving. But that's
Yeah,
that's my favorite one. But yeah, just always come say hi.
definitely.
We'll hang.
Well, Jeff, thanks again so much,
My
and
pleasure.
thank you guys for tuning in. Make sure you come to us next week. You don't know who we're gonna have, but I promise you, you're not gonna want to miss it. Stay tuned.